Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Ask a Care Manager. My name is Ryan Abramski. I'm the Business Development Director, and I'm joined with Teresa Jackson, as always, our Director of Care Management. The both of us work for EasyLiving. We're a home care and care management agency serving the Tampa Bay area for over 20 years. As always, the Ask a Care Manager series is brought to you by our friends over at the Senior Living Resource Magazine and their website, seniorlivingguide.com. Your one-stop local and statewide resource for all things in senior housing and health. Anything from home care services like we provide here at Easy Living to assisted living facilities, memory care, senior health related questions, and care management, again, like Easy Living. Check out their magazine that comes out once a month. This is October's, so they're going to have a new issue next month. And their website, seniorlivingguide.com, including checking out our article about our on-demand care coaching in the latest issue. And as always, they will deliver via mail to your home if necessary. So, Teresa, welcome back to another episode of Ask a Care Manager. So, another topic I think we frequently see in our business is, and this is actually one of our clients that just happened to. Mm-hmm. So had an injury, hospitalized, discharged over to rehab, mm-hmm. and they were discharged from rehab. I'm going to say definitely prematurely.
Yes, definitely discharged back home.
Yes.
And unfortunately, within less than 24 hours, she had to go back to the hospital.
Yes.
So, and I see this a lot, and I don't think it's done maliciously. I just think it's done because people focus a lot on what will the insurance cover. Mm-hmm. A lot of our clients have Medicare, and most of them have a supplemental insurance to cover the 20% that Medicare does not cover. Sometimes they will have a Medicare replacement policy that will have all the benefits that Medicare will have, but they may be structured just a little bit differently. So on your traditional Medicare, if you happen to go into rehab for, let's say you've fractured your hip, you had to have hip surgery, Medicare will pay 100% for the first 20 days. If you have a secondary insurance, then it will cover, depending on what type of policy, it should cover the remaining amount after that first 20 days, after the first 20 days. So most people think, well, the benefit says I have 100 days of coverage, but that's not necessarily the case. It's only if the facility and the insurance company deems that you still have rehab potential, mm-hmm. and that you're meeting your goals, and that you're not plateauing and you're participating in therapy. So, but what I often see is, let's say you and I both have the same insurance, and I have a broken toe and I'm going into rehab, and you have a broken leg and you're going into rehab. Gosh darn, we both meet our rehab potential at day 20 and we're discharged home. Mm-hmm. And I see this a lot, and I will advise the families that I'm working with to keep an eye on this, because just because the facility, they just might not want to have to deal with the secondary insurance, because you do have to go through more hoops to get the authorizations and to make sure the client is still progressing. And then, so a lot of times we do see people that are discharged on day 2021, even though maybe going back home or to wherever they were living, assisted living facility or back home, might not be the safest option. Sure. So I will tell my families that I'm working with, or if I am assisting them and speaking directly to case management, that that could be an unsafe discharge, and that's a buzzword that we want to advise our families to utilize, because we do not want any readmissions. And again, another buzzword that hospitals do not like hearing. They can get penalized if someone is readmitted within a 30-day period. And that would end up with a financial penalty.
Absolutely.
So we definitely want to make sure that we advocate that our client get as much rehab as they possibly can.
Sure. And I know sometimes too, when we're dealing with families that are, trying to set up home care services like they do before their loved one that is in rehab, I hear this sometimes. Mom just doesn't want to participate. She just wants to get out of there, but it's beneficial for them to continue to participate in rehab, like you said, as long as possible. And I think that frustrates, the families sometimes. And I think sometimes the rehab centers too, because they know this person could use more days of rehab, but if they're not participating in the activities to help them rehab, they're going to discharge them out of there.
Exactly. And I have found over the years that it takes a very skilled therapist, and trust me, there are many out there that do this, that can appropriately motivate even the most stubborn and contrary elderly person into doing therapy. So it is possible. You want to make sure that they don't give up on your loved one too soon.
Absolutely. And, with our families too, if your loved one is going into a rehab center, let us know as a home care company as soon as possible. So we have enough lead time too, to, if they are going to be discharged home, most likely they're probably going to be coming home with some sort of like the home health side, like the skilled stuff, like the physical therapy, occupation,
correct,
whatnot. But they're probably going to benefit from additional home care services like that we provide. And we want to have enough time to make sure we get everything set up so they're discharged with both at the same time, if that discharge is imminent and there's no other option.
Yes. And I spoke to another family member the other day who said, again, his wife was being discharged from the hospital to home. And he thought, well, home health through Medicare would cover all the help he needed at home. And I'm like, yeah. I had to explain, no, that they're going to bring in a nurse to do maybe an evaluation, physical, occupational therapist, but that's just going to be very limited. But the hands-on care that you need will not be there. You need to reach out to an organization like ours.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest thing too is, and this is where, you guys as care managers come in for the advocacy and advising portion of it. If you are, as a family, are dealing with a loved one who is in rehab and you feel like that this discharge shouldn't be occurring and you feel like you're not making any traction with those buildings or the hospital, or whatever the discharge is coming from, that's why I think when you need to get a care manager involved, because you guys can help kind of take a look at that situation, from your perspective. And sometimes we know people in those buildings too that we can, have direct conversations with and really get the true information instead, I think, playing the telephone game through families.
Exactly. And to keep in mind that right now it is open enrollment for Medicare. So if you do feel like that you have a policy that is not meeting your needs, or a policy that's not meeting your loved one's needs, now is a good time to make a change and to look at those different options. And that's something a care manager can also assist you with.
Yeah, great point. So I didn't even think about that. I can't believe it's already almost the end of the year here. But yeah, that's definitely a good thing to think about too, going into the next year. Was that insurance or Medicare, was that good enough this year for what your needs were?
Exactly. We're working with a client right now where his Medicare replacement insurance, so he has not straight Medicare, but a Medicare replacement, and his policy is not accepted by the local hospital that has a mental health division. And he needs a policy that will cover his mental health issues and concerns. So we were trying to get him transported to a hospital for, some issues that's related to, being isolated, and we were not able to. The hospital would not take him because they didn't accept his insurance. And the closest one was in the next county over, very far away.
Absolutely. Well, Teresa, I appreciate the insight. It's always good to hear about that because unfortunately, it's something we deal with a lot was with these discharges and families being super concerned about whether they're a safe discharge or not.
Definitely. And, if you've never reached out to an aging life care professional and you've not considered home health services or home care services, call us when your loved one goes into the hospital.
Correct.
Don't wait until the day of discharge. Call us because there's advocacy and advice that we can give you along the way while they're being hospitalized to make sure they get the maximum assistance that they need.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, if anyone has any questions or comments, you can feel free to put them down below in our comment section or send us a direct message on Facebook. You can also visit our website and fill out the contact us form, and that'll go directly to us, and we'd be happy to reach out to you and find out how we can assist you and your family. So thank you again for joining. Teresa, thank you as always for your insight, and we hope to see everyone next time.